Here I explain the topic liability. This is the most important and first protection you should have in Germany. Why is that? In Germany, we have a law called Bürgerliches Gesetzbuch, BGB. In paragraph 823, you can read loosely translated, if you cause a damage, you have to pay for it, with all that you have and earn in the future. Imagine that someone is seriously injured because of your mistake and is dependent on help for the rest of his life. That can be very expensive for you and ruin all plans that you have. This actually sounds quite simple, but there are a few points which I show you here. First, we have two fields. The red one for damages you must pay for by law, and second, the green one for damages you not to have pay for by law. There's another topic, damages that you have with your car. But for this, there's a car insurance, which I will tell you in another video. So we don't talk over this topic in this video. Let us start with damages you cause while you help someone else. In this case, the law says that you don't have to pay for this damage. For example, help with the move or in the garden of someone else just because he cannot do this by himself. If you are breaking something while helping, you don't have to pay the damage by law. The next point are damages you cause in your work. Your employer cannot easily give you the guilt for this. It's his business risk. Just in a few cases of gross negligence or premeditation, he can let you pay. And then there are strict limitations. This mostly will be adjudicated in court. And persons like children or other non-responsible persons, for example, they are mentally ill, cannot be responsible for their acts and naturally don't have to pay for damages. Now, we come to the topics where you have to pay for damages. First, the negligence is something happens accidentally. Then little animals and pets like your cat that runs over the street and a motorbike driver crashes while he tries to avoid an accident. Next are damages in your flat or house for rent. It belongs to your landlord and you have to pay for damages. Then you have to pay if you don't look after your children and there happens damage. In this case, you are responsible for their mistake. Next point is if you lose your key and the locks of the whole building must be changed. If you borrow things and break it or furnishing in hotels and holiday flats as well. Damages because of your role in a sideline job are not private, but you are responsible. Some people have a spare time company for their hobby, producing things and sell it. In the last years, more and more drones and flight models are sold, and if something happens with these, you are responsible too. Of course, you have to pay for damages that you cause premeditated, no question. But as well, if the damage comes over a longer time, for example, because you didn't handle something with enough care. If you have an oil tank in your house and the oil runs out, then you are responsible for the damage in groundwater and ground. And if you are a landlord, then you are responsible for your property. If something's broken and your tenant has a damage because of this, you have to pay for it. In a standard liability insurance, these things normally are included. But be careful, broken glass in your rented flat or house isn't covered in this protection. Therefore, you need a glass insurance or a household insurance with glass protection. You can increase the protection with the next higher levels so that most of all potential damages are covered, even not responsible persons and helping someone else. Because these cases are hard to understand for the injured person. And with this protection, you don't have to worry about this. Imagine you are visiting a friend and your child breaks something. Then you don't want to discuss whether you have to pay for the damage or not. You want to settle the damage quickly for the other person. If needed, you can book additional options like landlord or oil tank. And these 2 points never can be covered. This is your own risk. In real life, every hour are happening around 300 such damages in Germany, up to 3 million a year. If a damage has been reported to us, we clarify the question of responsibilities for you. If we have to, we will go to court for you. And second, we clarify the amount that you would have to pay. And then we pay. and then the case is closed for you, unless you still have a criminal complaint for the public prosecutor's office, in which case you would need a legal protection insurance. Here I show you the different rates of liability insurance. The list is very long and I have shortened it to a few important points. First thing is the sum insured. Here I recommend not to save on the wrong end. From the level smart, it's a good protection. Key loss, whether private or professional, should be covered if you have keys for bigger buildings. It could be that you don't borrow things, but the furnishing in a hotel could be very expensive, so these damages should be covered. You should know that damages will be normally paid how they are, and if a thing is old, the opponent doesn't get the amount of a new thing. Here you can cover that he will get the amount of a new item if it is younger than 1 year, just to avoid dispute. Think on mobile phones in schools, and so on. If you are the injured party and the guilty party has no money or is not insured, we will cover the damage from the smart levels onwards as if the other party had been insured with us. Imagine someone hits your foot from behind with a shopping trolley while you are shopping and you tear a tendon. Then you might not be able to work for a long time and have a lot of trouble because of this. If the person at fault can't pay, we'll take care of the damage. Your children or other persons that cannot be responsible are nevertheless protected from the level comfort on, so you don't bother whether you made a mistake by carrying. Eventually, drones and flight models are covered from the level comfort on as well. For families, I recommend the level comfort because of the child protection and the payment of a new value, so you don't have worries when you visit someone with your family. And from the level comfort on, you can get discount of your premium if you have more insurances by Allianz. This goes up to 20%. How are the periods and possibility to terminate the insurance? It normally runs 3 years, and you can cancel it to the end of the 3rd year. Therefore, you have to send your cancellation 3 months before. If you don't want to cancel or you have forgotten to send it, the contract will be going to the next year and so on. The contribution will stay every year the same normally. If it increases, you have the right to send a cancellation till 1 month after receiving the notice. And if you have a covered damage and the insurance had closed the case, you can cancel it as well after a month. So if you have this protection, you will never have to make such a face when something happens. You call us, we care for your rights and the damage to pay, so you can relax. I hope this short overview will help you, and I'm looking forward to your contact via email, WhatsApp or direct call. Thank you very much and best regards.